Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Mellow Monday painting stream. So, I actually changed around my setup yet again this time around. So I'm actually finally set up to paint in my office. Cleared off enough desk space so I could actually put my mat down and get all my painting gear set up. So yeah, it's ended up making for less setup than I usually have to do for these things. So it's nice. But yeah, so set up in the office now. Which means that I'm also on the rig that actually has the setup to do the head movement and all that. So yeah, and hopefully this will make it so that I can actually do streams that are painting streams that are a little bit quicker for me to set up, because part of the problem with doing the painting streams on the other computer were I had to get everything like set up in the living room for that, and it was very difficult to do that in a fast manner. So yeah, this should work way better this time around, I'm hoping. But yeah, so I hope everyone's been doing well, and yeah. Last week we had worked on doing Black Panther, which I think turned out pretty good. I already packed it away, so unfortunately I don't have it to show on camera, but you basically saw the entire process when I did it, so not much to show off that was different from last time. Aside from, I think the only thing I did off stream was painting the rim of the base, so that was about the only difference. But yeah, so this time around we're going to be doing Jessica Jones, because I've been watching through season 2 of the Netflix series, and yeah, I'm getting close to finishing up season 2, been enjoying it so far. But yeah, so it seemed only appropriate that we go through and do the mini for Jessica Jones. As part of this, I did not actually go through and get my thing set up for the paint list, so unfortunately that'll be missing this stream. But I will try to get that set up in the future. Do still have the button to do the reference picture though, so let's get that pulled up. So that's what we're going to be working with here. For this particular mini, I've got a whole bunch of paints to work with for this one. So we got a few things that we're working with here. We got the standard flat flesh tone for all of the, like hands, face, that kind of thing. We are going to be using a regular glossy black for doing the jackets. Her shirt color changes a lot in different episodes of the show. Like it's generally like either white or a dark gray. I've also seen it purple sometimes, because my favorite color is purple, and because her color scheme compared to the other Netflix shows, this is fairly obvious, especially when they did The Defenders, but every Netflix character has their own color scheme or color tone that they do throughout the show, and it's especially obvious in The Defenders, because they went out of their way to do a lot of color coding in the scenes to do that. So Jessica Jones is purple, Luke Cage is yellow, Daredevil is red, and Iron Fist is green. So I was thinking, rather than do like a white or a dark gray shirt, we're gonna do purple for her shirt. We're gonna do blue denim for the jeans, regular, so it's a flat blue that I'm gonna be using for the jeans. I might darken it up a bit, we'll see how it looks in the palette and see how that all turns out. So yeah, flat blue Going to do a regular glossy black for the boots. Probably, I'm still on the fence here as far as if I want to do a glossy black for the hair, or if I just want to leave it like a flat black. We'll see once we get to it. I may change my mind on it. But then on the base itself, the base is actually like a city streets, which is pretty cool. So like you get the storm drain right here, stuff like that. So I've got a dark sea gray that I'm going to be using for the sidewalk. I might darken it up a little bit more just to kind of make it a more weathered New York City sidewalk. I am going to take black and mix that with some gray. Well, probably more taking gray, mixing it with a little bit of black to do the streets. We'll do flat black for the gaps in the grading, and then I've got a dark copper that I'll be using for, or actually, hang on. I've got a bronze that I'm going to be using for doing the grading, and then I was going to use dark copper to do just like a hint of dark copper along the edges of the jacket so that it kind of shows up as a zipper. Not gonna do a whole lot with that, but it's a little something to give it a little bit more of like a color to the jacket instead of just being just a regular jacket kind of thing. You know what I am missing here? I forgot to grab a brown. We're not going to use it for much. Basically, I'm going to try to do the eyes a little bit different this time around. So I'm going to be using white to put down the main part of the eye. So we'll just put white down entirely, and then we'll do it step by step. So once the white dries, I was planning on putting on a brown on top of that, taking up less of the eye than the whites, but a sizable amount of the eye. So do that for the iris, and then using a regular glossy black for the pupil, which is basically just going to be like a tiny dot, as small a dot as I possibly can do. So yeah, I'm gonna go grab that brown real quick so that I can do that. I also have red for doing the lips, so yeah. But in the meantime, let me go grab that brown so that I am not looking for it later. So yeah, I will be right back. Hang tight. Oh, sorry about that. I am back. So yeah, I grabbed a NATO brown to do the eyes in. So for the iris, that's what we're looking to do for that. Her mouth is slightly open, so just to try to get a little bit in there, we're gonna do a pink for the inside. which is going to be very, very tiny because, like, it's basically just the small gap between her teeth that we'll need to do. So, yeah. Trying to think if there's any other colors that I need to worry about here. It doesn't seem to be. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and get started. I think, first things first, I'm going to mix up the flesh, and we'll work on getting that down ahead of time, and do some touch-up work if we end up, going a little bit overboard on the jacket or the hair or something like that. Pretty easy to fix. So let me go ahead and get paint mixed up, and we'll drop some into the palettes. That's pink. I put the wrong thing in here. Okay, well, here's what we'll do. We'll do the mouth first, I guess, because I put the wrong color in the palette. It's a good thing I realized that before I started painting the face. So this should be pretty quick. Let's thin this a little bit. Given that it's in the mouth, I'm gonna do a little bit, dip a little bit into the flat black just to kind of darken this up a bit. That all mixed, that should be good. Honestly, I'm wondering whether or not I should even do a brush, because I'm just gonna go in and do a small amount of this color right in here. Even that might be a little difficult to do with the tip of the toothpick, but we'll see. There, that should be good enough. And then we'll touch it up with going through after with the white to do the teeth and stuff like that, so be pretty easy. Also, this time around, obviously, did a little bit different with the model this time, so I took some Elmer's glue and glued a golf tee onto the bottom of this. That way I can hold the Mini in place without touching the Mini. That way I'm not constantly wiping paint off as I'm trying to do the paint job. So here, that was the pink all done. Mix up some of the flesh color, and we'll work on this part now. Also, the music might be a tad loud given my proximity to the microphone. You know, I'm just gonna turn the microphone up more. How about that? That might work a little bit better. still, it's one of those things where every time I change the setup around, it's going to change everything. So just constantly a game of trying to get the setup corrected for every time I go to use this thing. But it looks to be about right in OBS right now, so hopefully that continues to be the case. As always, if things aren't sounding right, please let me know, and I will get that adjusted for you. Here we go. Don't need a ton of flesh for this one, because there's not much to cover. It's basically just the face, neck, chest, and hands, which doesn't cover a ton on this mini, so here we go. I'm just gonna put this off to the side over here. No, I'm actually gonna put that right there, just so that I don't have it on the glass top of the desk. Have potentially water leaking everywhere. There we go. Alright, what's a good brush for this? This might work. It might be a tad small, but should work just fine. So yeah, been watching through season 2 of Jessica Jones, as I've said on this stream before, and it's been going good. I finished up episode 10 of the second season, I think, and good episode. Like, I'm very curious as far as what is going to happen for the rest of the season, because kind of resolved a lot of stuff that I thought was going to be kind of like the going into the end of the season stuff. But there is still enough there that I'm sure they're just going to end up involving more of Caleb Keith Rennie's character in there, Dr. Carl. But we'll see. But yeah, so, like, I don't want to go into spoilers too much, but it's the very personal story for season 2 of Jessica Jones has been an interesting one. It's tough because, like, season 1 of Jessica Jones was just fantastic. Like, it was a personal story that had just a fantastic villain. So season 2 is going to have a lot to live up to. And I don't know that it hits the same highs as Season 1. That being said, still fantastic show. Oh, I need to turn down the mic just a tad. I'm going into the red zone a little too much on OBS, so I want to make sure I'm not going to clip my audio when I'm talking. So yeah, like, Season 1 had, or Season 2 had so much to live up to, given how good Season 1 was. So I'm just gonna hop over into my music real quick. Okay, so it is going in order. Well, I will adjust as needed on the I will adjust as needed when the list goes, because I've got a decent amount of music in there, but I don't know, I popped into the middle of the playlist, so it's possible that I'll need to end up going through and loading up at the beginning of the playlist, just so that I'm not falling off the end of the playlist. Is buzzing. Very popular, apparently. But yeah, so like I said, Season 2 of Jessica Jones is very good. Like, I like it a lot, but it's tough to live up to Season 1. Like, Kilgrave was just such a great villain, that it's very hard to kind of get that back, you know? And, like, it's David Tennant, and David Tennant is just fantastic in basically everything that I've seen him in, so. Yeah, I should have taken my sanding sticks and taken some of the flashing off. 'Cause there's like little edges of flashing. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but it's like little edges of flashing that I probably should have like tried to sand down. But I already primed it, so it's kind of tough to go back unless I want to reprime the mini more on the spots that I should have tried to sand beforehand. It's okay though. This is more me noticing it, and honestly, other people probably won't notice that the flashing is there. There we go. That's looking pretty good. So we're definitely gonna have to go through and do another layer on this, because she's looking quite gray, because the primer is still showing through quite a bit. We also need to make sure that we actually make the coat pretty even, because I don't want to have like very heavy lines in certain areas. Like right now against the little lines along the hair might be a bit too heavy. We want the flesh to be a pretty even color, so here we go. Do that a little bit more. Definitely getting a few spots here and there where we're going over lines, but it's all gonna end up getting covered up anyway, so it doesn't really matter all that much. It's kind of the beautiful thing is we can just layer paint on top and cover up all the mistakes we make. Finding little spots here and there that I did miss, though. Gotta hit that. There. Try to even out the paint a little bit. Not getting too splotchy in areas. Let's give this a little stir real quick. Here we go. Back the camera up just a little bit because I'm worried about moving the model outside of the view of the camera while it's zoomed in. Like once I start doing detail work, I'll zoom the camera back in, but for current stuff, like, it doesn't need to be that close. There we go. Oh dang, we went into the mouth a little bit on that one. Oh well, we can fix it. There's very few things that we can't go through and fix after the fact, so not too worried. We can always go back and fix it. Let's hit around the eyes a little bit because they are looking a little gray. There we go. Alright. Leave that like that is for right now. Then I'm gonna give this pink another mix real quick just so we can try to fix the inside of the mouth a bit. There we go. That'll work. Oh, hey, we forgot to do the hands. Let's go do another few layers on the hands. Those are looking a little gray. We don't want Jessica to look gray. If anything, we want her to look paler than she is right now. Because certainly that's the way she looks in the Netflix one. There we go. There. It's alright, just had to readjust a little bit. Kind of like always switching back and forth between stuff on the computer, like checking to make sure that things still look good on Twitch, making sure that the music is still loaded up correctly, stuff like that, so. It's a situation of just never having enough monitors. Get a little bit of spray of paint every time I kind of hit the edges with the brush. But it's all going on the mat anyway, so it doesn't really matter all that much. Okay. You know I'm gonna do neck a little bit more because that's kind of still very gray. Apparently, paint's just super duper thin that I mixed. End up having to do quite a few coats to get the primer to stop kind of going through. I mean, that's kind of what happens with the lighter colors anyway. If I was doing this in a black, it would only be like a couple coats. Which we'll see pretty soon once I go through to do the jacket. There we go. There. Alright, so that is her face and hands mostly done. We'll do a little bit more if we feel like we need to, but it's looking pretty good. Alright, so, up next, I think let's work on the smaller stuff and then head out to the bigger areas after, so we'll work on the shirt next. So, that is going to be a purple. In this case, X16 purple. Because that's what I got for a purple color. I'm gonna try to set this down. Balancing act, there we go. Okay. Grab a toothpick so I can get this out into the palette. Needs a quick little mix on its own. Pretty good. Give it a small hit of water. Probably too thin, but it's also going to spread better if it's thinner, so... One of the things, like, if you don't thin the paint out enough, then you can see all the strokes when you're painting it on, versus if you go super thin, then like it has trouble holding onto sharp edges and stuff like that. So it's a balancing act. It's a balancing act for sure. Oops. This could use a little bit of water just to try to get the tip to behave. There we go. No, you know what? This is actually not going on too bad. I am having trouble with a couple stray fibers on the brush, though. Let's see if I can get these to behave a little bit better. Just worried that I'm going to go a little bit over and need to do a lot of fix-up work. Go. It's not looking too bad. And me, I'm just a sucker for purple, so... that wasn't at all obvious from my color scheme for my channel. Kind of a sucker for purple. There we go. Let's see if we can do neckline a little bit more. And I might actually go back through with the flesh tone and try to just fix up the neckline a bit more. There we go. And obviously, like, one of the things I'm going to need to do a lot of with this is I'm going to need to go through and do a lot more of the shading just to try to get things to show up a little bit better. So, there we go. Alright. Let's do a quick touch-up of the neckline before our flesh tone dries up. Ooh, that's gonna be iffy. That's kind of getting dry. Let's see. We can do it. What's going on? Okay. It's a little drier than I would like, though. Because it's almost a gloopy. Almost in a gloopy state, which makes it a little bit harder trying to have nice, wide coverage and make the brush lines not show up as much. There we go. This is mostly working. I think I might just add a hit of water just to try to get it to kind of just spread a little bit better. Because it's a little bit too thick at the moment. Let's see if this works. Yeah, because if you notice, I don't know how well it shows up on camera, but you can kind of see the brush strokes a little too much currently. And that's really not what I want. You want to try to thin this out enough so that you can't really see brush strokes. I think this is going to work a little bit better though. There we go. Here. It's looking a little bit better. Getting good coverage. And it feels like the color is blending a bit more than it was before. There we go. There, that's looking a little bit better. Just go across the chest a little bit, just to try to even it out. Because again, like when I was going across the chest, it was kind of a little bit too thick. There we go. That's looking better. So, here's what I think I'm gonna do. Gonna take some of the flat black, gonna shake, mix in just a little bit. I'm gonna work on doing some of the shading right now. Oops. Get the figure back in camera. Back it up a little bit. I'm going to try to darken up the flesh tone a little bit. Do some of the shading work right now. That way I'm wasting less paints by going through and doing shading later once all my paints have already dried up. So there's not much we're doing here. It's mainly gonna shift that over to there. Wow, that's not really mixing at all, is it? Just want a slightly darker flesh tone, and that doesn't seem to be mixing. Oof, that's probably way too much. Let's give it a good mix and see if it evens out. That is probably too dark. Let's see if we can give it just a touch of flesh tone again. Try to get it just a little bit under what it was, because I don't want it to be that dark. bit darker than it was. That way when we do the underside of her chin and cheeks and stuff like that, it'll look just a tad shaded. We'll see how this looks. Again, if it doesn't look great, we can always go through and layer over it. Oh, the Donkey Kong Country soundtrack. They had some good tunes in that. A little bit more flesh tone to this. Yes, it's going on a little bit too dark for my taste. Oops, sorry, I did not mean to hit the mic there. There, that's slightly darker. Should even out a little bit better. And that's what we're looking for. We just want to try to even the tone out. Because it's like got quite the difference in tones, and I don't want it to be that sudden of a shift. I want it to be pretty gradual shift in tones. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Let's go through and do a quick mix of some glossy black into the purple. That way we can do some shading. If I can get this thing open. Good God. Apparently some paint dried on the edges of the cap, because, oof, it was a little hard to get the cap off of that one. Okay. Sorry for blocking the camera there. Not much to look at. I'm just trying to get some paint mixed. There we go. Get that. Mix a bit. Do some shading on the shirt. Okay. See how that dries. I may have to go with a slightly brighter darkness just to try to even out the shadow, because I don't want it, again, I don't want the shadow to be too severe. I want some sort of gradient. You know what, I'm gonna mix a little bit of purple in just so I can try to create a little bit more of a gradient. Because that's looking a little bit too dark. Gotta make sure we keep it somewhat even. Because the super duper sharp change in color is gonna look way off. Don't want it to look super obvious that we're shading. We want it to look at least a little natural. As natural as it can be. Like, we're still manually doing shading, which is artificially making it more defined than it would be otherwise, so... Yeah, honestly, I think I need to add more purple. Because it's still too dark. It's too much of a jump in color. Let's get a fresh stick. My phone continues to beep a lot. Or not beep, it's buzzing, seeing as I got the silent mode going. There we go, that's looking a little bit better. I think that might work better. Everything is buzzing. There we go. There. I think once that dries, it's gonna look way better. It won't be super duper drastic change in color. So I definitely want it to be more of a gradient. I think that will do. Alright, let's flip this around and juggle some paintbrushes. There we go. I don't have quite as much space to spread out on my desk compared to when I was working in the living room. So, let's try to make do with what I have for space in here. There will never be a perfect solution, but we'll make do. Alright, trying to think of what to do next. Let's go with the jacket. So, we need glossy black for that. And we're gonna need quite a bit. I also need to remember tomorrow to go out and buy some clear coats and more primer, because I have run out of both. And that ain't gonna work. I need to make sure I have that, so that way I can actually clear coat these things and protect them. Don't want the paint getting all messed up. Granted, clear coat is just clear paint, but it at least gives it a layer of protection. That needs a little bit more water. Clear coat at least gives it a layer of protection that it's like, okay, well, if the clear coat rubs off, then at least it's not taking the colors with it. It's just losing that. Granted, clear coat can mess up some stuff. Namely, metallics. I've tried to clear coat over metallic stuff before, and it just screws up the... It screws up the color of the metallics so much when you throw clear coat on it. Alright, let's take a look through what I got for brushes. I don't want something too small that's going to take me forever to work with. But I also don't want something so big that it's going to make it harder to get into the small areas without screwing up my paint that I already have down. Ooh, this is splaying a bit too much for me. We'll see how it works. May have a bit too much paint on the brush for this. See if I can spread it out a little bit just to even the coat, because I don't want it to go on too heavy. It's looking a little bit better. Gotta say, it's been a lot of fun doing this painting stream. It's one of those things where I've been wanting to paint these for a while, and always just finding excuses not to put the time in. And one of the nice things about streaming is it gives me an excuse to do stuff it's been kind of the nice side benefit of doing my Tuesday gaming streams as well. 'Cause it's like, hey, you know what? For a while there, I was like, hey, I haven't gone back and finished off Dark Cloud. I should go and pull up that game that I haven't played in, 20 years. And, yeah. It was very fun. I do need to, at some point in time, go back and finish off the Demon Shaft in Dark Cloud. It's just that there was quite the difficulty spike in it, so I needed some time off. But thankfully, that made me go and pick up Gravity Rush 2 again, because I did not give that game its due when it first came out. And it was a shame, because it actually is a very good game. I like it a lot. to use the smaller brush for this. There's a lot of little places that are going to be very hard to hit with a wide brush like this. So let's pop this back down. Like you can already see, like I've hit some of the areas where I'm going over the hair, which granted the hair is also black, but I'm thinking just to kind of have some separation, I'm going to make the hair flat black compared to the glossy black of the jacket. There we go. There we go. But yeah, so streaming has been a nice way of getting myself to do stuff that I would normally be like, I don't have time to do that. And it's good. I'm happy to finally be working on a lot of this stuff. You know, playing through games that I did not end up, given enough time, or this where I wanted to paint these minis and I was just like, I don't have the time for that. It's like, how do I not have the time? I can make the time. Here we go. Seeing if I can get a good angle on this. There we go. Yeah, streaming has definitely been one of those things where it's just like, you know what? I've got more time than I think I do, and why don't I use this time to actually get stuff done that I wanted to get done? And it's been fantastic for that. And the nice side benefit is I get to meet new people while I'm doing this thing that I enjoy doing. And it's been very fun getting to talk to people during these things. I always enjoy getting some time to talk to people while I'm going through and just ranting and raving, I feel like, about just stuff that I am doing. There we go. Oops. Just seeing this spot that's right under her arm that I did not get any paint on. I will say this pose is easier to do than some of the other ones. Some of the other poses have been very hard to get all the little spots on them. This one's been pretty easy in comparison. Didn't get added to my playlist for this stream. I need to do that later on. Goron City from Ocarina of Time has a really good calming beat. I need to get that added to the playlist. Like, I gotta say, looking through my playlist for the Mellow Monday stuff, which unfortunately I had to take out, Diodar Docs, because that got flagged when I went to go upload the VOD to YouTube. Granted, it doesn't prevent it from, like, I didn't get a copyright strike or anything like that. But I also don't want to have copyright claims if I can avoid it. Granted, I'm playing copyrighted stuff. It's just, you know, I want to try to pick stuff that's not gonna be overly policed kind of thing. I was gonna say my playlist is a lot of Nintendo music. Although, looking back at it, I've got a few Legend of Zelda tunes in there, and then I've got GoldenEye tunes, and I've got Donkey Kong Country tunes, and it's like, I'm just realizing that I'm literally just realizing this right now. It's like, I mean, I thought I had a lot of Nintendo music in there, but in reality, I have a lot of Rare music in there. Because I got Donkey Kong Country and GoldenEye, both of which were Rare properties. Granted, Donkey Kong is a Nintendo property, but the games were developed by Rare, at least for the Donkey Kong Country era. Still kind of fascinating to be this day and age and going, oh, there's, you know, you kind of forget that a lot of Rare's older stuff was some of their, you know, some of their best stuff was exclusive to Nintendo. Nowadays, you know, they got bought out by Microsoft, so now they do Microsoft exclusive stuff. That being said, Microsoft is at least slightly better about sharing their properties, I guess. Yeah. Such that I was very happy to see when Banjo and Kazooie got added to Smash Brothers. Granted, I did not try to learn how to play them, but it was a nice flashback. It's like, oh yeah, oh man, I miss Banjo-Kazooie. That was a fantastic game that I'm sure it's still quite fun. I'm not sure that, excuse me, I'm not quite sure that genre has really stood the test of time. The collectathon style of platformer game. Because they tried to, bring that style of game back with Yooka-Laylee, which was developed by a lot of the same game devs from Banjo-Kazooie. And while Yooka-Laylee was not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination, it was also like a thing of, oh, well, yeah, this is very much, a Banjo-Kazooie type game, but, it kind of made us go, oh, dude, is that still a type of game that is worth playing right now? Like, it was the zeitgeist of the time, right? Or zeitgeist of the time, being redundant there, but it was the type of game that was super popular when it came out, and I'm not sure it still holds up at this point, kind of thing, Like, the genres of games have broadened so much since then that, it does get to a point where it's just like, other stuff has come out since then that has changed around how things work, and I'm not sure that style of game just really does much anymore. Alright, that should be pretty good. I like how shiny the jacket is. So, let's do the hair real quick. And the nice thing about the hair is it's got a lot of nice lines on it that we'll do it flat black for all of the hair, right? And then the nice thing about doing hair is then we can lighten it up a little bit. And when we lighten it up, we can take a dry brush and just go lightly over the whole thing, and it will bring out the lines a lot more, and it'll look really, really nice. Hair is always... Whoops. Dropping brushes. Hang on. Sorry about that. Yeah, so hair, you can go over with a dry brush, and it really helps make the hair look way, way nicer. Excuse me. There. Pop this down, and let's get some flat black into the palette. Move this out of the way just so I don't get any extra paint on it. There we go. Oh, the phone just keeps buzzing at me. There's a lot going on, apparently. Let's get a little bit of fresh water in here. Got a couple drops. Really thin it out. Check my phone real quick, because apparently it's just buzzing over and over and over and over. I don't mean to check midway through, but I'm just so confused why there's so many things over again. It was literally not anything worthwhile. Alright, let's get a wider brush to use for this. About that. That might work. Alright, let's... that, and then... this might still be a little bit thick. Let's see. Yeah, that's still a little bit thick. Let me add in some more water. Oh god, there we go. There we go. Alright, that's probably better. Let's see. A little bit. There we go. Oh god. That's fine. There we go. Still good. You know what? I am gonna downgrade to a smaller brush because I'm getting close to the face and I'm worried about overage. Just so I don't have to do a lot of fix-up work after. There we go. some fix-up work. A little bit. The black paint coming off on the face, which I don't like. Here we go. Yeah, fix it a little bit. I took a corner of the paper towel, kind of wiped off the very, very wet area, and it kind of fixed it a little bit. Still gonna need to go through and do a little bit of fix-up with the flesh tone. But it's better than if I left a big wet glob of paint right there. Go. Oh, Libra, hey! It's been a minute since I caught stream. Well, that's fine. I'm happy to see you here. How you been? Doing good, just recently modded my Switch again, focusing on researching modding the PS4. Got 256 gig micro SD for the Switch too. Nice! So, are you looking at software modding the PS4? Is there a new way of doing it or something? Or interesting exploit for the PS4 came out, don't know if you've seen it. I have not. So what's going on with the PS4 exploits? Masticore, there are PS2 games on the PS Store that run via native emulator. With a modified save file, you can do an emulator escape to get Homebrew and other things installed. Oh, that's cool. Out of curiosity, what games? Like, what were the PS2 games that you can get the escape on? Not gonna do it myself because you either need an already modified PS4 or access to one to modify the files, or you have to buy that online save editor. Ah, gotcha. Most notable game for the escape used in the example document cost Shadow King for $10. I've never even heard of that one. That's cool, though. It's always interesting what stuff just, you know, has been sitting there for a while and people just finally discover exploits and stuff like that. It's just fantastic. So assuming you buy a game, download it, this is always a chance to jailbreak through it. That's cool. Very, very cool. May have to do it with one of my PS4s at some point. I would probably try to do it with my PS4 Pro, since that one is not the one that has PT on it. I don't want to jack up my PS4 that has a working copy of PT on it. If I happen to screw up, you know. Right now it can only be used for running other PS2 games that aren't supported, but the devs say there is a high potential to jailbreak through it. Nice! I'm sure they will figure out how to get through the hypervisor and get through to the hypervisor for the system and be able to jailbreak the thing entirely that way. I believe it can be used to sail the 7 seas for PS4 games currently. Nice. Well, any homebrew that gets released there will inevitably be a piracy component to it, which I am perfectly fine with. Generally don't pirate stuff, but I have no problem with people generally pirating stuff to a certain extent. It's much easier to say that it's fine with like a lot of the higher budget stuff, because you know what, they're raking in a ton anyway. Feel bad about the indie stuff getting pirated because, you know, it's a much smaller budget for them. But oh, and I don't think you saw it in my ocean of text, but it's assumed unpatchable. It was reported to PS a few years ago, and they stayed dead silent about it, even though it was through their bug bounty program. Wow. Well, if it's been sitting out there in the wild for a while now and hasn't been patched, yeah, it's probably unpatchable. That hardware level exploit stuff through software exploits is really, really cool. It's reminding me I gotta go back on my Vita at some point and get some more homebrew stuff running on there. Because I got that modded, oh, probably about a year ago now. And there's definitely some stuff I wanted to try out on it. Most likely solution pulling all PS2 games from the store, but they wouldn't take the games you already bought from you, right? They do. Can't just uninstall it from your system. Yeah, I mean, the option is pull it and push fixed versions of the PS2 games out, but if they just remove them entirely, it's a PR disaster waiting to happen. So ultimately, it's not going to impact them too much if people are able to mod the system. It is not their current generation hardware, so I think they're less inclined to focus on fixing it. I mean, they could, but would they really go that far? Yeah, probably not. This works entirely on the... Oh. Well, if that's the case, I don't know. It's a tough call. If it's working on the PS5 as well, methinks they will be patching the PS2 emulator that they made at some point. It's one thing for it to be an exploit that only works on the previous gen hardware. If it works on the current gen, I think they will fix that at some point, and then just push out the new bits, because yeah, like, it won't hit everyone, especially the people that disconnect their system from the internet, but they can fix the ones that are out there, or prevent new people from getting stuff running through the same means. Then they'll probably do that. In other good news, Cemu, the Wii emulator, just went open source and is working on a Linux port too. Also, the PS Vita emulator has some commercial games playable now. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Things just keep trudging along, and they keep finding new ways of getting that stuff running, and it's great. Like, I gotta say, like, I love the Vita. It's got some problems, but that system should have got more love from Sony. It was a great little system that had so much potential that Sony just kind of didn't really do much with. Gravity Rush still has heavily corrupted textures and runs 3 to 15 FPS. Yeah. It'll get there eventually. There we go. There we go. Alright. The apple falling cutscene takes like 5 minutes. Oof. Yeah, it's, it'll get there. I still remember when Dolphin first came out, and I, tried to get Metroid Prime running through Dolphin, and it was unplayable. The opening cutscene was heavily corrupted and took like a half hour to play through just to get up to the point in time where Samus was actually controllable. Gravity Rush, but the gravity isn't there. Yeah, it's, emulators just, they take time. Like I said, Dolphin, when it first came out, I remember when it first came out, it's like, oh man, let me get this downloaded and try running some stuff through it, and yeah, like I said, Metroid Prime was unplayable, and it used up so many resources just to get the game running, you know, about 1 FPS. Dolphin is like the most feature-complete and fast emulator that exists now. Exactly. It's a huge jump from where it was originally. It's one of those things where over time they will just fix all the problems and get things running perfectly. That's reminding me that I need to go back through and get some of my MAME games running again, see if they made some improvements on them, because there were certain games like Prop Cycle that ran atrociously, so I don't know if they've made any improvements on that since then. I believe Dolphin runs better than N64 emulation. It wouldn't surprise me. N64 emulation is pretty old at this point, and yet it still is the most problematic emulation I've ever played around with. I don't know if it's just the hardware is that hard to emulate correctly, but I always end up getting, like, really bad, corrupted textures, or text, or really funky running. Like, it's just a smorgasbord of weird issues on N64 emulation that is still really prevalent, even though N64 emulation has been around for a long time now. Oh, and I've missed stream a ton, but because my sleep schedule gradually adjusted, sleeping at 1 p.m., wake up at 9 to 10. Now I've adjusted to sleeping at 5 to 8, so I wake up around 3. Cool! Well, as always, if you can't make it around for a stream, that is totally fine. You know, you gotta do what works for you. If you can't be around for a stream, that's fine. You can always watch the VODs either on Twitch, or I get them uploaded to YouTube after a day or so as well. So it's always around if you wanted to watch stuff. I'd rather you feel like you're doing a healthy sleep schedule than feel like you need to be around for a stream, you know? Okay, so it's a genuine problem that my sleep cycle just gradually creeps around the clock. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, especially if you're not doing a job that is dedicated to a certain block of time. It gets really hard to stay on a consistent sleep schedule. So had to follow my day and my night streamers. Now, like I said, as long as you are feeling happy with your sleep schedule, that's what matters the most to me. I'd rather you be able to watch stuff later if it means that you are getting a much better sleep schedule going. Oh, speaking of job, I was just offered an $80 bonus if I meet 20 hours this week, as well as being offered the 28 hours this week. Awesome! Congratulations! That's awesome. A little extra money is always good. Well, I say a little extra money. 80 bucks is a decent chunk of change. Gone to where I work 5 hours a day now. Happy medium for my I hate working lifestyle. Hey, you know what? I cannot blame you. It's, I am also very much on the side of I hate working. So. It's trying to find that chunk of time that you are happy to do, but you're not feeling like you're wasting your life, you know? And as long as you can afford it, that's the big thing. Two days and I meet my quota. 4 days, I meet the max normal hours. Cool. 4-day work week is pretty nice. You can't really go wrong with that. A friend of mine from my first job ended up getting a job where he was doing 4x10s. He was doing 4 days a week, 10 hours a day, which I couldn't do, but he enjoyed it, and it meant that he got a 4-day work week, so. feel like I got a lot of that. I'm at a job for 7 hours, I may as well go for the 10. But if I can, I prefer to do less than 6 hours a day. I don't blame you. Hate going home with that can't commit to anything feeling because I have to sleep so soon. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, like, my focus goes, like, way down, after about 5-6 hours, so if I was doing anything that required brain power, for 10 hours, like, I'm not sure that would end up working out. I get into a bad mental state of what's the point, now throw me at a mindless grunt task, I'll do it for 60 hours straight. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If it's something that I don't have to think hard about, throw me at it. Like, I can do, you know, data entry or whatever for, you know, long stretches of time, because it doesn't require a lot of thought. That said, I don't really want to do that. But if the pay is right, heck yeah, I will go and do that. There's a few spots on here that did not get primer. It's going to be a little bit harder to try to get the paint to stick. Alright, I think I got it. Oh, I don't know if you've ended up watching the VODs, but I ended up getting the Jupiter style of Gravity and Gravity Rush 2. Just got that unlocked, so that is... Jupiter style has been interesting. It is crazy powerful. Takes a little bit of getting used to. See if I can do the eyebrows without... going overboard on this. There we go. It's looking not too bad. All you hear in the melody of this song in the background is DK Chunky's tits. This is the facility theme from GoldenEye 64. Yeah. You know what? Rare had some good people making songs for their games. Background melody lines up so well with the DK Chunky's Dead, and I am tight. Hey, like I said, it's Rare did a good job of hiring people to do music, because Donkey Kong games had some great tunes as well. Alright. Let's see if I can do another line on the eyebrows, just to get them to darken up a little bit more. There we go. Showing up a little bit better. Alright, let's do... you know what? Let me remix the, glossy, do the boots real quick, and then I can do the jeans after. Let's see if this is gonna go in. No problem. Yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, it's going on actually a little wet, but let's see if it decides to even out a bit more. There we go. Yeah, and then, so the people that did the music for a lot of the Rare games, actually the people in general who worked on a lot of these Rare games, like GoldenEye especially, ended up going off and doing other stuff. In the case of the developers made the was it Free Radical Studio, which made the Time Splitters games, which were very GoldenEye-esque. They had a lot of GoldenEye references in them, which was really fun. But they got the same guy who did the music for GoldenEye to do the music for the Time Splitters games. Graham Norgate, I want to say, is his name. So not only do the games have the same feel of GoldenEye because they're also first-person shooters done in the same style, but with Graham Norgate also doing the music for them, like, it felt very, very much the same because of that, too. So I am sad that Free Radical ended up going out of business. They had a lot of promise. They were lined up. Oh, did you see the Nintendo Direct, by the way? I did not. I heard about some of the stuff that was announced. Like the Zelda game that got announced. New Fire Emblem got announced, which I saw part of the trailer for that. I haven't played any of the Fire Emblem games, so don't know much about it beyond the trailer. GoldenEye coming to Switch with online play via N64 Online. Oh, nice! You know, actually, I did hear about that. I also heard that the GoldenEye remaster is coming to the Xbox Series X and S, except that it does not have online play. It's just like, okay. So a nicer looking remaster, but no online play. Which seems very bizarre. But that's cool. I do miss me some GoldenEye. The modded Switch, I can see some things before they even release, which I will leave ambiguous because this is public chat. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Yeah, a lot of that stuff ends up getting released online before stores even get it, so... The source gives me access 3 days after leaks, so I don't get instant access. Oh, okay. Yeah, even still, that's pretty cool. I need to get back to playing my Switch at some point. I haven't really done much with it lately, aside from I started playing Monster Hunter Rise on PC again because I got couple of my friends to start playing it, and that made me go back and look at my Switch copy and went, oh, dang, I forgot how far I was in this game. I should actually, like, try to go finish it. Excuse me. Probably will try to finish it at some point. Because I didn't even get up to a lot of the more interesting monsters in Rise. Like, I don't think I have fought against the Velstrax yet, and I just started fighting against the Chameleos in Rise on the Switch, so... And good God, like, haven't even touched any of the Sunbreak stuff yet, so... Still need to eventually play Rise. Barely got into it, just not used to the controls versus World. Yeah, I can see that being the case. You know, I had the opposite problem with World, where I really just bounced off of World entirely. Like, I could not get into that game. I probably could now, given that I've put enough hours into Rise, although, that being said, going back to World after Rise would be a little tough just from the perspective of, oh god, I don't have a lot of the quality of life adjustments in World versus Rise. I want to play the Charge Blade, but most movement is based off of attack pattern, so I struggle. Yeah, Charge Blade, I've looked at tutorial videos on it, and let me tell you, the amount of thought you have to put into a lot of the stuff, like, granted, over time, like, it's one of those things where it becomes muscle memory, but to get to that point with the Charge Blade, it's just like, I don't know how people do that. I main's bow in World, and I like it in Rise, but it doesn't feel as cool in Rise. Charge Blade is most powerful, but requires such advanced combos. Exactly. Like, I've looked at the combo videos and tutorial videos for the Charge Blade, and I'm just like, I don't know, I don't think I have the patience to learn that. Versus, I finally went back and tried learning the Insect Clave in Rise, and I thought that was going to be way too complicated for me, but it ended up being pretty easy, so I may try to go back and try to learn Charge Blade, but who knows? There's just a lot to it before you even introduce any of the switch skills or Silkvine stuff and all that, so... Oh god, no! The red paint has been leaking out of the container and sticking to my desk. That will require me actually going through and getting all that cleaned up. Insect Glaive is very cool in World with the absence of wire bugs. Gives you the ability no one else can use. Yeah. Like, it's still pretty good in Rise. like, in a lot of cases, you still fly way more often with the insect glaive than you do with any of the other weapons. Although I do appreciate that it is way easier to pull off the move with the dual blades to, like, ride down the spine of the monsters with the dual blades. Like that, it's much, much easier to do that in Rise. Liked having the bow from Basil Goose, aka the pickle from World, because it would just explode after a while of shooting. I know, not the pickle. You're thinking of... God, I'm trying to remember which one that was. I know... Yeah, I know what one you're talking about. I can't remember what the name of it is. God. So there's the Basil Goose, which is the one that's got the... that's the one that drops all, like, the little explodey bits. There's another one that is the pickle that, I'm trying to remember what it was called. That's the one, thank you. I don't know that they have that one in... I just barely remember myself, yeah. I don't know that they had Devil Joe in Rise. I don't think it's in there, but maybe that's changed with Sunbreak. Who knows? But I did get to fight against the Basil Goose in Rise. That was a fun one. Likely will come via update. It might. It's tough to say. Like, some stuff they bring back, some stuff they don't. So. But it's been fun going back to Rise, and like I said, I need to put some time into the Switch one where I made my most amount of progress and try to finish off the rest of it. Versus my PC one where I'm only like Hunter rank 6, I think. Versus, you know, the Switch one where, granted, I'm not nearly as far as like a lot of people are out there. I got up to like Hunter rank 22 before I stopped playing, so I still got a ton I've got left to do in that. And with Sunbreak out now, like, they added in master rank monsters and stuff like that, so and there is a lot of life left in that game, and I just gotta go through and actually put some time into it. Oh, also, so, like I was saying before about I'd like to go back and try to play World, but it's just tough because of the quality of life stuff, because they don't have the wire bugs or the palamutes, which are both things that it's just like the mobility with those makes the game so much nicer. But one of the other things that I much preferred in Rise is the hunting horn, because good god, I looked at the hunting horn for World and I'm just like, nope, that's a bit too complex. Doesn't Devil Joe come to most Monster Hunter games? It might, I don't know. So World was my first Monster Hunter game and I bounced off of it, and then Rise was my first, I guess, real first Monster Hunter game because I actually, like, put the time into it. Like, my experience with World was mostly through watching videos of people playing it on, like, Polygon and stuff like that, so... Oh, my friend is coming to do a trade with me, my 250 gig NVMe SSD for his 24-inch 1080p 6D monitor. Mellow, I don't remember if he's been in chat here before. Don't think so, but that's awesome. Try to get the rest of the jeans painted. There we go. I think it's a good deal. Sold it to him for $100 before, and I'm getting it back by trading an $80 to $90 SSD. Really worth 60 to 70 because used. Hey, you know what? It's I think you're probably making out pretty well on the deal. Overall, like $140 to $150 profit total from a trade we can both make good use of, since my SSD and his monitor both just collect dust now. Cool. Well, I'm glad it's working out for both of you. Yeah, I got a lot of equipment down in my basement that is just collecting dust right now that I need to, like, actually find someone that will give it a good home, because, yeah, it's just like, am I really gonna need this? Should really just get it to someone that's actually gonna use it, you know? Kind of just swap things back and forth. He has more gamery stuff, I have more techie stuff. Sometimes it just lines up. Nice! For me, I have a lot of not old equipment, but, you know, it's stuff that I'm never gonna use at this point. Like, I have a ton of spare laptops that are still, like, decent laptops, but I'm never gonna use them, because I just have too many computers sitting around the house right now. But it's stuff that I previously bought for testing purposes, but I bought it with my own money, because work would not pay for it. So I have a lot of old systems that's just like, they should probably go to someone that actually needs them, kind of thing. I like collecting old laptops to test stuff on. Don't have any right now, sadly. Most I get end up being very ancient. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, these ones aren't super old, like, I mean, some of them are. Some of them are older than my desktop, which is saying a lot. But, like, I have some stuff that's, like, Tiger Lake, so it's Intel 10th gen stuff. Just in, you know, it's not old. Like, they're only up to Alder Lake 12th gen at this point, so. Want to find a decent one with at least an eMMC and a 4th, 5th gen CPU. It's like 4 to 6 gig of RAM. Yeah, I mean, you can probably still find that. Like, most of the stuff that I bought, I was just buying off of eBay, because it was nice and easy to find exactly what I was looking for. Man, the selection was pretty good for old refurbished stuff, so... There we go. Used a Ryzen 1st gen until like last year, so I'm very generous about what I call old. Okay. There, let me add a little bit of black to blue and do some shading on the jeans. That's still right. Mix it together. Remember trying to run Dark Souls 2 on my old ancient laptop with 2 gigs RAM and old HDD and probably like a 2nd gen Oof! 2nd gen i3 is gonna be real rough to try to run Dark Souls 2 on. How did that go? I imagine not well. One of my old gaming PCs loaded the textures and had good FPS, but it borked. Character leg was attached to his rib cage. Just loaded things in the wrong spots of the model. That's kind of impressive on how it didn't work, though. Wish I had a video. That would be, yeah, I imagine it looked pretty good. It's kind of the opposite problem of stuff that I've seen before. Like a friend of mine would load up really old games on modern hardware just to see how well that would work. And I remember she had tried out MechWarrior 2 on a newer, granted this was at the time, newer machine. And it was insane because the frame rates dictated the speed of the game. So because the game was running super fast on the new hardware, the missions were impossible because they went by in about 5 seconds. I got scammed when I went to get that gaming PC for repairs. I knew nothing about PCs at the time. Took it to a shady local repair shop. Ran out of an old house in town. I knew nothing about PCs. Don't remember right, but I had got it back and I swore they stole one of the RAM sticks. Looking back, I know they'd be stupid to try to steal, but I swear they did. I mean, it's possible. That being said, RAM is... I don't even know what the RAM was at that point, yeah. I mean, it's possible, but that being said, like, RAM... Well, I guess it depends on when it was. Like, RAM isn't super duper expensive in most cases, so it'd be like, why steal it kind of thing. Sounds possible, but such a dumb thing to try to steal if they were. I was thinking, it's a 4 gig DDR4, 2... Yeah, I had to guess. Yeah, I mean, they could make some money off of it, but it just seems a weird thing to steal, you know? I guess I shouldn't ever put it past people stealing stuff that, to me, seems ridiculous to steal, but... It's possible they upgraded it by changing it to an 8 gig stick. It would still be weird if they had kept my RAM afterwards. I mean, it depends. It depends on what they thought the deal was as far as replacing the RAM or upgrading it or something like that. A very low reputation. He pretty much disappeared after a bunch of people accused him of scamming. Well, in that case, wouldn't really put it past him. If he was accused by that many people of scamming, then yeah. It's pretty bad. Go. I think he charged me $100 to $200 to fix my PC, and I got it back after like 2 weeks of waiting. No changes to it other than being... Oh, God, yeah, no, that's most definitely a scam, then. God. There we go. There we go. That's looking pretty good. I'm liking how the pants came out on that. Alright. You're right back? Okay. I'll see you in a little bit. Not gonna miss much, because I'm just gonna be working on trying to do the teeth and the eyes at this point. I'm not gonna mix anything for this, because this is just such a small area that I don't feel like doing a bunch of water for this. Let's see. Do eyes. we go. I thought he was here, but not yet. Trying to time work so I can end a task right when he gets here and I can pause working for a bit. There you go. Okay, let's get that. It's looking better. Oh, I joined my first non-Linux forum recently, GBA Temp, which seems a good place to keep up with news I care about that isn't Reddit. Cool! GBA Temp, I'm assuming a Game Boy Advance modding community or something? Oh, did you see the GTA 6 leaks? I saw part of a video of one of the leaks. I wasn't interested enough to really dig into it too much. That reminds me, I need to go back and James Stephanie Sterling put out a video on the GTA 6 leaks that I need to give a watch today. Gaming and tech forum, all consoles as well as other topics. Cool! Nice! 90 videos leaked, all of them source code, all of the source code leaked, images, employee account hacked. Yeesh. That's real rough. Well, that's not gonna go well for Rockstar. They'll likely have to rewrite the source code because of hackers on game servers in the future, possibly getting into people's PCs, likely a 1 to 2 year delay. That's real rough. I feel really bad for the developers. That's gonna be a lot of extra work for them to do. That really blows. Let's do the lips real quick. There's not much to those. Get that done pretty quick. God, I don't know why this red decided to leak. Yeah, it's like the most devastating game leak in history. Bad PR. A ton of people think that this is the finished product, even though it's a pre-alpha leak from 2019. Yeah, I heard a lot of discourse on the oh, this looks like crap, and it's just like, guys, it's not released. Like, games that are in development do not look finished. It's just... like, as much as I enjoy gaming, the term gamer has kind of gotten a bad connotation at this point from all the people out there that are terminally online and have really given the term gamer a bad name. Like, bro, it's a 2019 alpha of a game meant to release in 2 to 3 years. Just be glad it doesn't look like a Play-Doh. And a lot of GTA 5 textures and models being used. Like, of course, it's built for testing. Clearly aren't going to use those exactly. It's placeholders for stuff that they will switch out later. Like, it's just... but people are always looking for stuff to complain about, so... trying to maneuver this so I can actually do... I'm gonna need to redo the... God, trying to do the lips... looks really bad. I'm gonna need to redo the flesh tone to fix all of my mistakes. Yeah, plus, not meant rudely, but the target audience of the game aren't exactly the most knowledgeable about game dev. Yep. Yep. That is very true. Or development in general. It's just like... a lot of stuff is placeholders. Until you actually finish stuff up. Oops, sorry. Did not mean to hit the microphone there. Average GTA player is either a minority of rational adults, but honestly, it's the same as the COD crowd. Most are 11 to 14. Yeah, or at least act that way. That crowd is the big reason why I don't do a lot of online games. Like, one of the things that I try to do, so I had played Titanfall 2 way after the fact, because I heard really good things about it, so I ended up playing it, and it's a very fun game. I love the single player. I'm very, very disappointed that they didn't do another Titanfall game since then. So the single player was fantastic. The multiplayer... I wanted to like the multiplayer, but the player base is just not great. I need to do a little bit better work with the flesh tone on this, because it's going on a bit too gloopy, which is to be expected because I didn't do any thinning. That said, if you want a really good single-player game, Titanfall 2, fantastic single-player game. I really enjoyed the campaign for that. I wish that the studio would actually make like a new Titanfall game instead of just focusing entirely on Apex Legends. Because I really, really enjoyed the campaign of that world. There we go. been trying out some Touhou games lately on my Switch recently. The Touhou Genso Wanderer, which is a really good Pokemon mystery dungeon-like fan game. Really expensive though, I haven't seen much of Titanfall myself. If you enjoy first-person shooters, it's a very good first-person... Titanfall 2 is a very good first-person shooter game with a frankly fantastic single-player campaign. But if first-person shooters are not your deal, maybe worth a skip. I don't think the story's good enough to live up to... The story's good enough to outdo the game mechanics if you're not into first-person shooters. But like I said, if first-person shooters are are a thing that you are into, then yeah, the single-player campaign is just fantastic. A great stream game, I'd highly recommend that one. It's a big Metroidvania style mixed with some bullet hell elements, time-stopping altering abilities. Interesting. I will have to look it up. Okay. I think the eyes have dried enough. That one's the only cheap duo-fan game. It's only $15. That's not too bad. And what do they generally go for? $60, jeez. That's a little expensive. Alright. Let's see. This will go on nice and cleanly. Actually, I'm gonna check my music real quick. Let's switch over to this. There we go. Luna Nights is also made by a proper game studio, so it's a fan game with the quality of a great indie. Oh, that's cool. That's a rare find. Let's see if I can do this without, like, completely screwing up the eyes. Already nervous about this. Fill most of the eye with the iris, and then just do a little dot for the pupil. It's a little tough without making the eyes look completely weird. We will give it a shot. Worst that happens is I go through and repaint the eyes again. You know what I'm gonna try to do here? Gonna use a toothpick. See if I can get more of this filled out. Something that's a little bit easier to control than a brush head. Go through and do some fix-up work on eyes just a tad. People are discussing about the pronunciation of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Okay. Why is that? Seems fairly, seems fairly unambiguous as far as the pronunciation of it, I would think. People are debating whether it is tears, tears, like tearing paper, or tears like crying, but the Japanese explicitly is pronounced tiazu, like crying. I checked the Japanese a little bit myself. Ah, okay. Like, I can't imagine why it would be Tears of the Kingdom, but... Oh god, I messed up. I messed up a lot. Mistakes were made. I'm gonna fix this. Never even thought of it like tearing paper until someone said, and I can't see because the I can see because the landscape is all broken and tore up. I guess that wouldn't have been my first. That wouldn't have been my go-to as far as how I would think that it would be pronounced. But who knows, maybe that was a planned thing of introducing that sort of duality of meaning. There's like crying tears on the cave inscriptions, so yeah, I mean, like the very obvious nature of it being tears like crying is just it's hard to look past that. I have really, really, really messed up these eyes. You know, I'm gonna let that dry, and then we're gonna fix it. I don't see where the confusion is so widespread because the whole point of the direct was that there were 7 to 9 tiers surrounding the weird character inscription. Yeah, that seems fairly to the point of, hey, it's tiers of the kingdom, but I can see kind of where the confusion would be, but that still seems a bit tenuous. Some people joked about the direct not being streamed in Britain because of the name and recent events. I mean, they very intentionally did not stream in Britain. So, I feel like there's definitely some things behind that. That being said, they didn't geo-block any of the other stuff, so it's just like... very awkward timing for Nintendo. I mean, yeah. It's awkward timing all around, regardless of what the project is. Like, all around, the death was just... it was gonna affect a lot of stuff regardless of where you're located at. That being said, and this is just my opinion, there are a surprising amount of people that care an awful lot about the monarchy that I did not expect. That said, I really enjoyed, to be honest, I think a lot of people are reacting because they feel obligated to, like, Dwayne Johnson. Yeah, I feel like if you've got enough visibility, like, it's probably down to you feel like you have to, you know, show deference to it kind of thing, but... it's like, I don't really care, and honestly, for, like, a lot of places that have had to deal with English colonialism, like, I very much understand them being very happy. Definitely a very sad thing, but a lot of people seem like they're using it for some attention or the obligation. They don't want to seem like a jerk. As someone else said, most people have never even met her, talked about her once in her whole life. Exactly. Like, I can understand it's a sad thing, but at the same time, like, the fact that the UK is basically shutting down because of her death is just, like, crazy to me. And I'm gonna be perfectly honest, like, I've really enjoyed Irish Twitter a lot since her death. So... Some people are very happy about her death, like to the level of holy crap. Yeah, I mean, there's fun and then there's like excessive. But for a lot of places, I can understand people are pretty stoked about her death. Like, again, English colonialism ain't particularly great, and there's a lot of places that were affected by it. Like Ireland and India especially. Like, I get the monarchy bad, but she was still a person. Yep, I completely agree on that point. It's less to do with the person and more to do with the monarchy. Because again, like, especially Ireland and India, both through the royalty and the British governments, just crazy amount of hardships. Like the Irish famine. Well, actually, the famine that happened in India as well. It's pretty much all down to the British involvement in the territory, so it comes down to more it has less to do with her dying and more people being happy that the British the representation of Britain as a whole is being affected by this. I think that's really what it comes down to, because granted, she was not great, but I don't think that a lot of what's happening is down to specifically because of her. Granted, she was not great. Like, if you look through a lot of stuff that she was involved in. But that being said, still a person that has passed away, and I do feel bad about that part of it. There we go. Get all of that covered up. And get the rim of this completely covered. That way there's no blank areas on this. There we go. Ooh, excuse me. There we go. Alright. Feel like the eye has finished drying enough that I can actually get the flesh tone fixed on that. They recently released spec info on the Pixel 7 series, which is the successor to my phone recently. I'm completely uninterested in it. Most new phones this generation of upgrades seem barely like an upgrade. Well, if that is the case, less of a reason for me to upgrade to the 7 right away. I'll probably just get the 6 when my phone completely croaks. which is not coming rapidly, but it's certainly at the point now where it's like, I probably need to upgrade some point soon because my battery isn't holding out as much as it should, which is only going to get worse once I have to start going into work physically. Pixel 7 is like 3% upgrade in performance. Yeah, that's not really worth it. Let's see if I can fix this eye. Let's see what we can do with this. So, the white's basically fine. I need to go over with the brown again. There. Alright, so we actually need to let that sit so it can fully dry before I go in, try to fix more. How's this? And black is completely dried up. Let's see if I can fix hair a little bit, because I completely got that mixed up too. I like my Pixel 6 Pro, so I'm gonna stick with it until at least 8, 9, or 10. Just since they added 5 years of security updates. Oh, that's nice. I'm gonna break my yearly upgrade so I can actually pay off a phone for once. Nice. Yeah, I will probably get a 6 or a 6 Pro. Just haven't had a huge push to get one yet, but my battery life is starting to tank, and I also don't get security updates anymore, so I do lose my insurance once it gets paid off is the only thing, and my T-Mobile jump benefits, so I'll no longer be able to upgrade when I pay half the phone off. I have a Pixel 3. Got it way long ago, and it's been pretty good for the time, and I haven't felt the need to upgrade it, so... But the battery is starting to tank on it a bit. It's getting harder to maintain a charge on it. Hang on. Do this. Oops. Sorry on hitting the microphone. Trying not to get into a boxing match with it, but... Okay, we kind of fixed the eye a little bit. Try putting Lineage OS on it. Probably still getting security updates for it on there. Yeah, that is a good point. I didn't even think about that. Might give that a shot though. Alright. Let's see. I can get the pupils on this without completely destroying the eye. That's point. Last update for Pixel 3 on it was Lineage OS 19.1, which moved it to Android 12.1. Nice! Ooh, this is a nice sharp point. I can use that. Doing the pupils. Just had to find something that had a nice sharp point on it. Alright, let's see if I can do this. Unfortunately, my hands are very unsteady. Alright, that's probably about as good as I'm going to get. I may end up keeping my phone till it croaks and just stick Lineage on it when it drops support. Yeah, I mean, it's... I had Lineage, well, it wasn't Lineage at the time, but I used that on a previous phone. It was great. Worked really well. Yes, it used to be Sinon Jinmon. It used to work very well. I really enjoyed using it. Just have not set it up in a very long time. But that stuff is incredibly easy to do nowadays. Well, gotta get this closed up. And then I can mix this. There we go. I messed with it. Messed with a few ROMs. I stick to Lineage. It's gotten extremely good. It rivals Google and Samsung in terms of OS usefulness. That's nice. Yeah, it's been, like, it was extremely nice to have back in the day when I was using it on a Samsung phone, because I didn't like all the Samsung-specific stuff that they threw on there. I did run some Pixel ROM for my old OnePlus 6T, though. Can't remember what it was, though. It just mimicked the Google Pixel. Lineage used to support native root. Now they recommend you use Magisk as the officially supported root. Okay. Magisk is good. It also supports some things that hide root to let bank apps and stuff work. It's a ton of useful modules. Nice! Well, I might have to check that out. I think it even supports custom kernels via modules, if I recall correctly, which is extremely useful compared to manually doing it. Yep. That's cool. I might have to look into that for my Pixel 3. Get a little bit more life out of it, if I can. That's painted. Oh god, trying to maneuver around this is a little difficult. Kind of like that. There we go. There. There's also Graphene OS, which only supports pixels, but it's super security and privacy focused to the point of lowering UX to the level of paranoia you're actively being hunted levels of privacy. Well, that is something I will consider, but probably not use. I'm not that paranoid. I probably should be. But I'm also not to the point of being that hyper fixated on privacy and security. Like I said, I probably should be. But it's not something that has really driven my usage habits. Wow, that was a loud bit of thunder out there. If I'm being hunted, I'll let them get me. I must be important. Well, we'll see if this stream doesn't get cut off suddenly if there is a thunderstorm going on outside. So, with all of that, let's do... Oh, I tried out Super Tux Kart. Wow, okay. I remember Super Tux Kart. Lately, that Linux Mario Kart clone, it's actually really nice, and even has a Switch homebrew port that even supports online play. Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, I remember playing a lot of the old open source Tux games way back when. I have not touched them in a very long time. All free too, yep. It's cool stuff. Like I'm super glad that there's people out there that will take the time to do all that. Spots on here that need some touch-ups. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go over rates real quick just to try to get into these gaps. Oh god. getting paint all over my hand again. Gotta just move this out of the way. Yeah. Not trying to be super duper clean on this, because all we're really trying to do is just fill in the gaps so that we can have the grates have something to contrast against when I go to paint the grate on. There we go. There and there. There we go. Oh, I found out more about my work NDA. I'm safe to discuss the types of work I do, just not specific work policies, content, communications, user locations. I can talk about the actual searches themselves. Oh, that's cool. Right now I'm having to go through results of food recipes and mark if they're porn or not. Well, that's fun. I guess how often do you run I surely hope they aren't porn. I was about to ask. Because that seems like that's something that's bound to pop up at some point. Like, I can't imagine porn getting mixed. Rule 34, God. Oh no. I was just about to say, I'm sure that it doesn't pop up that often, but, you know, you bring up a good point with Rule 34. Ugh, God. Oh God, that's really... I actually might need to put this into a cup or something. How's this shoring up? That's looking not too bad. Alright, you know what? I'm just gonna dip straight into this. Alright, let's get this grate done real quick. Shouldn't be too hard to do. I was raiding an offensive content category a few days ago, and found out there are a ton of sites in Belgium dedicated to dark magic, fixing of relationships, finance, and resurrection of the dead for a monthly subscription. Oh wow, okay. That is, not a site I expected to, exist. Or I guess a type of site I expected to exist, but God knows, the internet is vast, so... Buy our gold tier monthly subscription and arrive. Jeez. Again, like, not a thing I expected to exist, but the internet is a vast, vast place, and, therefore makes me slightly less surprised when you tell me that kind of stuff exists. The fact that it's a subscription. Yeah. Yep. Well, everything's subscription-based now, so why wouldn't Dark Magic be a subscription-based service? Everyone's got to be the Netflix of something, and they decided they were going to be the Netflix of Dark Magic. There's money to be made in Dark Magic, apparently. And so, that's what they have decided to do. That works. That'll do. There. Okay. What else was I gonna do? Zippers. I was gonna do zippers. Let's get that done really quick. What time is it? Oh, geez. Okay. Well, let's do the zippers. And then I may end up doing the rest of this off stream. There's not much left. Like, I'm basically just gonna do a wash on the base, dry brush the hair a bit just to get some strands to show up a bit better. Let's do the zippers real quick. I'm hearing the thunder again. Thankfully, my dog does not really care about thunder or lightning, so she's not hovering around me. Perfectly fine with loud sounds, unless it's the vacuum cleaner. She absolutely hates the vacuum cleaner. That is the one sound that she cannot deal with. Everything else does not matter to her. You know what, do I have... Let's see what I can mix here. So I'll take the flat black. I'm gonna dry brush the hair real quick. Man, I can still hear that lightning or the thunder. It's seems like it's getting closer. Let me gonna finish this up real quick. That way I can shut everything down. You're gonna line up good with your stream times. Yeah. Okay, gotta move this out of the way, and then put this in here. Give this a nice little mix. It's not super duper different from black that I already have, so let me... Power strip is for backup safety if you forget not to play during a hurricane. Yeah. Like, I have a UPS on the stuff that really matters, but, still rather have stuff sufficiently unplugged if I'm going to, be dealing with a storm. Ooh, that reminds me, I need to turn off the attic. The attic is where I have all my old systems hooked up, and recently just had the circuit breaker panel redone. So they flipped the attic circuit back on, which I usually leave off unless I'm actively using the systems up there. And it means they're all on right now, and I don't want that circuit to be live during a storm, so... So let me do some dry brushing real quick, and then we'll probably call that good. That way I can go turn stuff off. There we go. Okay. Well, that's basically about it. Like, I think I need to do a little bit of touch-up work, but overall, I think it's looking pretty good. You know what? I'm gonna do one more thing. Just one more thing. God, I feel like I'm never done on this. Gonna do a little bit of touch-up work on the jacket real quick. There we go. Alright. That should be good. There we go. So, basically, the only thing I got left to do is, like I said, I'm gonna do a wash on the base, and do the rim of the base, and then I just gotta clear coat it. And it's basically all set. Overall, not too bad. Pretty happy with how it turned out. There's a few things I can do better next time. The eyes especially. The eyes are always real rough to try to do. I want to get one of those power supply battery power strip things businesses have when they're at my old college shop. It seems nice. ACU or something? I'm trying to think of... battery backups. Yeah, so, so you're thinking like a UPS, right? Yeah. Yeah, I have a UPS down in the basement that I have my servers and stuff hooked up to for, they are very expensive, and the batteries will go after about 5 years. You need to swap in a new battery, so something to keep in mind. But it's saved my bacon a few times as far as my server in the basement that I use for I rip all my DVDs and Blu-rays down into MKV files that I throw on there. And so I have all of that on battery backup because I don't want to lose any of that. But yeah, it saved my bacon a few times when stuff has been running and there's a storm that goes through and I don't get stuff shut down fast enough, but works well enough. Yeah, anyway. So, not much left on this, but I will do a little bit more off-stream, just to finish off some of the stuff, and yeah, overall, pretty happy with how it turned out. I still need to get better at doing eyes. Eyes are something that I will constantly struggle with, because they're very hard to paint, especially this size, but something that we will continue to get better at. But yeah, in the meantime, I will be back tomorrow for some more streaming, because we'll be doing some more Gravity Rush 2, which I'm looking forward to. We've got some more stuff to work on in that, so yeah. Oh, I love getting ads while rating YouTube. Work video on a timer for work is my favorite thing to happen. I'm not allowed to use ad block, which is also wonderful. Well, have fun. I hope it goes well. But yeah, thanks for turning out. It was a lot of fun. It was nice talking to you, and maybe see you tomorrow for the Gravity Rush 2 stream. So yeah, hope everyone has a good one, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good one.